Hey ho und willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge von Genshin Impact Buch 5 Hydro. Wir reden hier heute heute, für euch ist es heute. In der heutigen Folge geht es um die 3 Hauptverdächtigen. Wir sprechen zuerst mit Florent.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
Du bist der Hauptverdächtige.
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Oh, jetzt wird's interessant.
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation.
Ja, das glaube ich auch nicht. Was, wenn der Erste irgendwas anderes getroffen hat? Oder jemand anderen?
Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene.
Oh, das ist wichtige Information. Er hatte seine Waffe gar nicht bei sich. Das heißt, die Waffe, die er da hatte, war gar nicht seine.
But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
Es wäre gut möglich.
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callis ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel.
Oh, okay.
Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callis's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented.
Also wenn der uns anlügt, boah, Alter, dann kann der richtig gut lügen.
Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callis, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live no matter what others might say. He'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Information von Florent. Florent, der Berater von Spina de Rosula, das habe ich gerade vor Spanisch ausgesprochen, egal, behauptete, er sei...
Wherever in this world I roam,
Oh
carry
nein,
memories of my home.
Kasua.
This blade. It is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Ja, Kasua, ist okay. behauptet, er sei Callis für seine Freundlichkeit sehr dankbar. Am Tag des Vorfalls war er auch beim Bankett anwesend und kann nachweisen, dass Dallas bei seinem... Dallas? Am Tag des Vorfalls war er auch beim Bankett anwesend und kann nachweisen, dass Callis bei seinem Ausgehen keine Waffe bei sich trug.
This scenery is wonderful.
Ist okay.
Surely I'm...
So, der nächste. Falsche Richtung, oder? Ja. Oh, der ist ein bisschen weiter weg. Ah, da ist er auch gleich. Hauptverdächtige Nummer 2. Thierry.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Thierry.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the Guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callis did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Yes. These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related.
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Was? Ah.
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Warum so direkt?
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex.
In anderen Wochen er ist ein Polizist und kein Mechaniker? ITler? Wie würde man das nennen? IT jetzt nicht wirklich. Ist ja... Obwohl es ist ein Roboter, also... Ja, egal.
Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Ah, stimmt auch mal wieder.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Warum sagst du das einfach so vor ihm?
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Information von Thierry. Thierry ist für den offiziellen Kontakt zwischen die Spina di Rosula und der Gendarmerie Fontaines verantwortlich. Ihm zufolge kann nur jemand, der reich genug ist, privat eine große Menge an Gardemex, keine Ahnung, besitzen. Gardemex. Hat sie doch auch gesagt, oder? Dann geht's zum nächsten. Und wo wir gerade hier bei der Map sind, ich war ein bisschen erkunden. Nur die hier noch nicht, weil ich glaube, das kam neu dazu. Ich bin mir aber nicht sicher. Deswegen habe ich erstmal nur das da ein bisschen was gemacht. Man sieht ja auch 30% ungefähr überall. Aber egal, gehen wir jetzt erstmal rüber zu Marcel. Ist Spina de Rosula eigentlich auch Spanisch? Weil egal wie ich überlege, ich kann das nicht französisch aussprechen. Navia ist auch ein spanischer Name. Calles, ist das Spanisch? Malice, Silva? Soll das Spanisch sein? Ich weiß es nicht. Ich sage aber weiterhin Spina de Rosula, damit ihr Bescheid wisst. Marcel. Warum? War das gerade nicht eine Frau?
Hello, how may I help you?
Ach stimmt, weil die sind von Confrère de Cabrera.
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure, I will let him know right away.
Nach einer kurzen Weile des Wartens tauchte Marcel auf.
Ah, Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
Oh, and what makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea.
If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests.
Ich möchte ihn echt nicht beschuldigen oder so. Aber er hat eine verdammt gute Ausrede, weshalb er nicht alles mehr weiß. Oder wenn er sich irgendwie verplappert. Kann er immer noch sagen, ach, mein Gedächtnis ist nicht mehr das, was es mal war.
Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Also ich weiß, das sind Schüsse, aber er hat gerade gesagt, Gunshot, also ein Schuss.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever need Mora. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Information von Marcel. Marcel ist der Leiter der Confrères de Cabrières und war die letzten Jahre zuvor der Organisator des Banketts. Die Confrères de Cabrières und die Spina de Rosula pflegen seit jeher eine enge Zusammenarbeit. Obwohl seine Erinnerungen an den Fall recht vage
Wherever in
ist,
this world
ist
I
er
roam,
bereit, Navia zu
I carry
verteidigen.
memories of my home. Windstrider!
Ach, Kasua, du Labertasche, du. Analysiere mit Navia die Hinweise und wo? Ach, da
Time
hinten.
to go.
Warum denn da
The
oben?
wind knows me.
Oh, gut.
We've talked to all 3 suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
Keiner von den dreien stach wirklich als Verdächtiger hervor.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start?
Bei Jacques' Motiv.
Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Wenn ich an seiner Stelle gewesen wäre, sehe ich keinen Grund zu feuern.
Oh? And why is that?
Wäre der Mord an Callus etwa nicht sein Todesurteil gewesen? Hätte er die Sicherheit seiner Familie garantieren können, wenn er Herrn Callus getötet hätte?
Oh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the order and seek protection from my father.
Anscheinend war ein Drittel der Auslöser dafür, dass diese Situation kippte. Ja, stimmt. Ich kann mir vorstellen, dass Jacques Callus meinte so, ey, Bro, das passiert gerade, ich werde wahrscheinlich sterben. Und während die geredet haben, war aber jemand schon da und hat es gehört. Und dann ist das Ganze eskaliert.
Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory.
Leider ja.
Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Es muss jemand gewesen sein, der viel Geld hat. Und ich weiß, diese ganzen Synth-Leute bekommen ja viel Geld, aber ich weiß nicht, warum ich schon wieder diesen Onkel, wie heißt der, Marcel wieder im Auge habe. Aber, die hätten ja die finanziellen Mittel dafür, oder nicht? Weil der hat ja auch gesagt, wenn du Mora brauchst, sag Bescheid.
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Wer von den 3 ein Auge gefasst hatte, ist in der Lage, private Garde zu kontrollieren. Boah, ist ja egal, was ich jetzt sage, oder? Ich sag halt Marcel, weil ich weiß nicht warum, aber ich dachte, dass er das ist. Aber wer von den 3 Verdächtigen, die man es ins Auge gefasst hat, ist in der Lage, die private Garde zu kontrollieren? Also, wegen den finanziellen Mitteln hätte ich gesagt, er. Aber von dem Können her wäre es ja er gewesen, obwohl er gesagt hat, er kann das nicht. Ich glaube, die beiden. Einer von denen. Deswegen, ich sage Marcel, weil keine Ahnung.
Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex.
Eben, deswegen.
It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child.
Oh, stimmt.
Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of Mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Vielleicht war das jemand anderes. Ah, okay. Wir kommen langsam näher. Okay, gut. Also, ich habe ja gesagt, er hätte Ahnung davon. Er könnte das ja nehmen. Er hat zu viel Ahnung davon. Aber ich sag erstmal Florent, ja?
Florent? It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly, he can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly.
Vielleicht war es ja jemand anderes. Thierry! Also das...
Thierry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory.
Was, wenn es alle drei waren?
If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Aber vielleicht weiß sie ja, woher diese Gardamex kommen. Und hat einfach genau diese Leute gesagt, so, ey, ich hab bisschen Geld, gib mir welche.
Who could it be?
Ich glaube... Na, jetzt müssen... Okay. Florent wählen. Florent wählen? Florent behauptet, der Berater des Spirituoso zu sein. Er hat Callis mit seiner Freundlichkeit sehr dankbar. Am Tage des Vorfalls war er auch beim Bankett anwesend und kann nachweisen, dass Callis bei dem Ausgehen keine Waffe bei sich trug. Thierry. Achso. Ist es egal, wen ich jetzt erstmal auswähle? Dann fangen wir wieder mit Marcel an.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
Hä, warte. War das jetzt richtig oder... Ich weiß es
Could we
nicht.
be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When the suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Er steht ja schließlich ziemlich nahe.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Der Ort, an dem das Synth hergestellt wird.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Aber durfte man sich jetzt... Wäre es jetzt egal gewesen, was ich aussuche?
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Ah?
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something—
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui
Nein.
harbinger called Tartaglia.
Was? Wie hat er gesagt? Na, Child?
What? Is that someone you know?
Ja.
we know him?
Aber
Maybe even
warum?
a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearance.
Wait, how?
Nein, das kann
None
doch
of
gar
our
nicht sein.
investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right. Because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Das heißt, wir müssen ihn jetzt verteidigen.
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Well, partner, what do you think we should do? We still...
Wir spielen seinen Anwalt. teilen wir uns auf.
Split up? What do you mean?
Du gehst nach Erenies und wir gehen nach du weißt schon wo. Ich habe Vertrauen in meine Kampffähigkeiten. Oh.
Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Erenius, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any
Warum
chance
sagst
of
du so
making
laut?
that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
Du kannst auf mich
We'll
zählen.
help you, just like you helped us in Lenny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver, when did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Erenius. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you then!
Analyse über die Verdächtigen. Kombiniert man die Informationen über die Guard, Mecha und bisherigen Ermittlungen, lässt sich der Schluss ziehen, dass nur Marcel über eine Großzahl von Gardamex verfügen und Sint heimlich verwalten kann. An dieser Stelle würde ich die Folge gerne beenden. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet viel Spaß beim Zusehen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.
Now that Navia has set out for Erenius, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's